Hey guys, this is Francois from Production Music Live, and today I'm working on this Ableton project here. It's kind of a remix or edit by a track by Lane 8, and we knew this was our time. The name of the track has such a chord progression, roughly. And this type of arpeggio. And so on. And I was working on the remake just to figure out some stuff, and I realized somehow the original track is like 3 tracks. It's I think it lasts like 9 minutes or something, and the first 2 minutes it has a certain sound design, then it has a break part, and the drop is quite okay. Let's say in the first 3 minutes or something, it sounds like a deadmau5 track. It sounds like Strobe in a newer, more technically advanced version. In the break part and in the drop, it sounds like a track by Zed, is super hands uppy. And then in the final part, it sounds more like a melodic techno track from the sound design wise speaking. So I was like, I kind of like the vibe in the beginning, and I want to edit it in a way that it sounds a bit more like, I don't know, Anjuna or something. So yeah, so I'm editing around this thing here, and this is what I have so far. Oops. Yeah, so it's a little different from the original, and it's a collection of sounds. Like it looks like it's a lot of sounds, right? And it's a collection of sounds from different PML project files I did in the past. And sometimes I'm collecting ideas, I'm quickly copying them together, and then I'm deleting stuff I don't need. That's why sometimes a project like this can look very overwhelming at first glance, because yeah, there are a couple of pad sounds here, and I went for a couple of them at the end, and some of them are not needed anymore. But it's still, yeah, there's different workflows, and this is like subtractive somehow. You load in stuff that might work, and then you figure out if it works, and then you just delete it if it doesn't. And I think it's it has the structure and vibe of Jan Blomqvist, the Ben Böhmer remix for Jan Blomqvist, Space in Between, and it kind of relies on that sound design, but then it also has other elements as well. There's no vocal, and I think you can pretty much do your drop with the arpeggio motive as well, other than I think the original track is doing, but it's still tricky. The question is this going to be a little more epic, so more pads and stuff, or is it going to be more toward melodic techno? Then it should have less reverbs and stuff, because right now this main ARP here, it occupies a huge space basically, because well, first of all, this is a very interesting sound. It combines, it switches between a sine and a saw and a square wave. If I'm taking off this vocoder, it just adds some noise to it. We have so this patch is Andromeda. It's from our Circle Diva pack, and this is a super nice sound, but you can still decide, like, do we even want reverb on it? That's really main question for me here at the moment. Is it going to be more trancey? And we are using all those reverbs and delays, and maybe even some extra epic pads here in the main part. Or are we going to make it more dry and more focus on the single sound other than the sound space that's occupied? I hope that makes sense. So that's one question I'm asking myself at the moment. And you might also be wondering, so what's up with this ARP here? Isn't it going a little crazy? Well, yeah, it's like, since we've been playing it a few times here already, this is the full ARP pattern? I think so, yeah. And so it has been repeated various times already until we get to this point after the drop. I kind of want to keep it interesting. So here I just put some of those notes an octave higher and messed around with some of them. So it's kind of going crazy a little bit. In my opinion, a good way to introduce something new without really introducing new notes, because that might change the vibe a lot to cheesy or something. Because if you don't stick with the original pattern, you're already changing the vibe. If you're adding some added tone or some sus chord in there, or different voicings work, but keep the same notes. That could be this good solution here. And this sound is somehow great because it sounds cool in those higher frequencies. If we could take off the... So it works pretty well across many octaves. And we can also transpose it down. Yeah, so this is definitely an option. If it's open like this, it sounds very trancey, and if we remove the stuff, can also make it sound a little bit like Stefan Botzin track or something, you know. If we just if we play this sound and the kick, and then maybe a Moogie bass with a fifth on top or something, not this one here. But still, Stefan Botzin, for example, would use some reverb on the sound after all, and maybe also some delay. So yeah, it's something I'm still debating with myself here. What else is interesting about this so far is, I think this part here is kind of cool. So we're somewhere in the build-up after the drop, because this is one of those quiet drops where we're going back down to 0 and building it up again. We're winning some time here, and it's not the full-on full synth drop, but it's also a nice drop. It's used a lot by Ben Böhmer, for example, as well. And this is, for example, something I really enjoy sound-wise, when you have a new pattern, a new 8-bar loop or something, and you combine different elements here instead of a quick riser or whoosh effect or something. So we have the kick, we have this whisper thing. And then in our second position, we have this house clap with a long reverb tail. And we don't have it in the first position. And then we even have this little clap fill in here, which is... It's actually a lot of reverb here. Might have to turn that back a little. And then we have this playful synth with an LFO. Oh, this one is not doing the LFO thing here. Okay, let's play the pad sound along. And then I have something, yeah, let's play the bass. And then I have these two here. And they're going. And then we have this guy here as well. This one is not finished yet. It's I don't really like the way it sounds so far, but I do have something. Oh yeah, and this one is coming right in between. So we have these playing of different sounds and elements, and this is keeping the track very interesting here. So plus the arpeggio. Yeah, so these elements here, since we still have some room in the higher frequencies, we can make use of them, because after the drop part, it's first of all pretty quiet in the higher frequencies here. And that's definitely room for such an element here. And how do I decide on notes for those? I usually take a look at the chord progression or listen to the chord progression at this stage, and then pick some notes that are kind of stable over the progression. So if it was playing in this part here, I would definitely pick this E flat in this case. Well, it says D sharp here, it's in this case E flat. And you might as well pick another very stable note. If it's in this area here, you can pick C, D flat and E flat, for example. That will work well. And then you play this maybe an octave lower or something like that. And then you will get this nice little effect. Yeah. But then I'm still looking for the right arpeggio sound to play here, because I'm playing a more belly type arpeggio here and a much more open one here, because we are also playing lots of hi-hats and stuff in this full action part. Yeah, and when remixing something, you can always you could also like completely change the arpeggio pattern and introduce some new notes by your own, or you keep the arpeggio pattern and do everything sound-wise. And I think in this case, I'm not keeping the exact same arpeggio pattern as Lane 8 and Massane, but quite close to it. I'm not messing around with it too much. I'm trying to do the differentiation with the way it's arranged and the way the sound design is being done. Yeah, this is another one of those fillers here. It's even two chords. In this case, doing it all with automating the rate of the auto pan with a phase set to 0 here. It kind of operates like an LFO, and then amount is fully up in the beginning and then slowly comes down towards the end. And yeah, I think this element is also on the original. but it's a pick guitar in the original. Just using this plucky thing here. Oh, what? Oh, no, it's this conga sample from the Premium Volume 1. So most of the drum samples are from the Premium series, and the presets are, most of them are from Diva and from our Diva sound packs, Diva preset packs. Oh, and there's a lounge lizard down here. Don't use this too often, but I really enjoy its sound. So this is lounge lizard. It's like an E-piano, and can do Rhodes and stuff. And this could honestly be done better, because if you have an instrument like this one, you actually need to give them different velocities. And that's also how we can emphasize on different notes from our chord. And now we're playing the middle note a bit louder. And it will sound more natural in this case. Yeah, I'm also using this white noise hi-hat from the Arturia Mini here. This is from my Arturia Mini Melodic Techno sound pack. It's one of those patches that come with the effect chain as an Ableton rack, because the Arturia Mini doesn't have too many built-in effects. For example, there's no reverb. We do have a chorus and a delay and this vocal filter, which is kind of nice, and everything, and this motion recorder, but we don't have an actual reverb, for example. And other than that, we also have what's also interesting here. Yeah, it's a pretty large project still. I'm still consolidating, so taking out elements that are not really needed. But I tend to test various arpeggio sounds, for example. This one here. Okay, I kind of have everything automated on on this sound. There's another filter here. Yeah, that's an interesting effect. This is from the remake of The Space in Between, because towards the end of the pattern, this is even automating the pitch of oscillator 2 and 3. But I don't think we are not doing it. Or are we doing? Oh yeah, we are doing it here as well, but in a different way. We're just bringing it up an octave here. So this sound is an option, and this one here is another one. Yeah. Also a nice sound, actually. But I didn't end up using it so far in the full part. I kind of thought this one works nicely here. This one works better with the full trancey patty version, and this one might work better with the more laid back, more dry version of it. Yeah. And also interesting are these pads here. In the break part, I'm taking off the bass note from the pad. And it gets a completely different feeling there in this part. Because, for example, it feels like they're sharing the same bass note here, which they don't, because this is the actual bass note that should be playing, but it kind of, this type of stuff in the break will introduce something new and keep it interesting. There's something in here. Oh yeah. So this thing down here, maybe we take it off. Okay, quick look at the drums. We have okay, I made this yesterday and something doesn't sound good to me. Let's quickly check. Oh yeah, is it this guy? Yeah, feels late. Yeah, and maybe some of these elements are too much. What about this one? Yeah, I don't think it's needed. Yeah, we really have a lot going on already. So if we just take a look at the basic groove, we have the kicks playing, obviously, but then we also have this low perk thing here, which does like those low toms or kick as well. And then we have this percussive element here. And then we also have the tom. Yeah, I'm trying to keep them in different positions so they're never playing at the same time, but also use different sounds. And so since this one is playing here in the last note, this one down here will play in this last note, so they're not interfering. Oh, nice. Yeah. This can be regarded like a one big hi-hat loop. I made it out of several ones. Out of several one-shots. And shaker is nice here. adds a bit more organic feeling to it. And yeah, quick look at the sounds. This is just a tom sound here. What is this? This is a percussive sample, and it's pitched down by 2 octaves. What was it initially? Oh yeah. Never stop pitching stuff. Sometimes you might find something interesting. Those nice MIDI percussive samples pitched down can sound pretty cool in lower frequencies as well. Because also if you pitch them down, they're going to be longer and more stretched out. Yeah. Okay. So still a couple of things to be figured out for this mix. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should it be more trancey or should it be more like a Stefan Botzin track? If you have an opinion, feel free to leave it below. I'm probably not going to keep on working on this today because I did a lot of stuff on it yesterday, and I feel like I want to leave it sitting there for another day until I have a clear vision of where I want to go with it. But I'm going to play it from start to the end right now, so you can listen fully.